What's up, folks? So it's me, Mike, and I've got a few updates to give regarding some things that I've been doing, projects, new builds and upcoming products, right? So I'm going to go through some new cool kit that I've got from MBS this week, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, some of the components that are going to be released to support this platform as well. Then we're going to look at some battery elements and future projects, what's in the pipeline as well. So welcome. Let's just get stuck into it, right? So this bad boy arrived in the mail and I am absolutely stoked. Still got the shrink wrap on. I left it on specifically so I could feel myself removing the shrink wrap. The MBS team have done some really cool reviews about this deck. It's been put through its paces well and truly, so I don't think I can add any more value than what MBS have already done, showcasing the quality of this product. I will say one thing, and that is thank you to MBS for, you know, when I walked into a skate shop as a kid, and there were decks hanging on the wall, and you could just sit there for hours looking at all the different types of artwork and gnarly shit that was on display. I think they've reignited the spark in me to a certain degree. I love this, just from a graphics and display perspective. They just smashed it out the park. This is real old school skate stuff, so thank you very much for doing that. Let's unwrap it, right? Let's get to it. Because I want to talk a little bit about the products that I'll be releasing that will support this deck. Oh. Wow. Alright, that is pretty sweet. I will say straight up, that back surface is cool. I love that texture. It is freaking tasty. I don't recommend doing that. Alright, so it looks really cool, right? There's videos on the MBS website that go through all the close-ups and all the cool stuff about the deck, but I'll tell you now, it is absolutely sexy stuff. I love it. So I think for the 2022 period, did about 5 or 6 Warren 97 completes. Right, so I got pretty good at smashing them out. So I'm hoping I can repeat that success from last year over to this year, but also standardise a lot of the components that I put onto this deck when it comes to electrification, right? So I did a little sneaky because MBS sent me the initial riser pads. So I took what you sent me and made them a little bit better. The first cut was pretty good, so I replicated the exact dimension of the riser pad, but put channels underneath, so that way I can do under route cabling when it comes to electrification, so we don't have wires hanging all over the place. Then I thought, you folks, you did. I reckon Warren has a 9 size foot, right? Because the pads were a little bit tight, so what I did was I lengthened them on the final version, so they kind of go more towards the edge, right? Like that, right? I don't know if that comes across. So a wider pad than what is shipped, and that will allow me, well, it allows the size 11 and 12 foot taller folks to have a little bit more space. So the tricky thing with doing these pads, unlike a lot of the other pads that are done for electrification purposes, is that you've got, I had to replicate the concave, right? Because the board is flat and MBS had the concave on the riser pad. So the concave had to be replicated, which meant that typically you would print and manufacture these pads upside down, so you wouldn't have any infill, it would just print up, but because of the concave, they need to be printed this way. And they came out really cool, right? Really nice, good quality, and you can peel away that insert, that support, and then it looks like that, right? So this was a test print, and for a test print, first one, pretty happy with the quality. this will be the production one moving forward. So yeah, so that's a cool product. So if you are the folks that are looking to get it complete from ZFG, that riser pad will come as standard. And I really like the vicious grip tape. I use that in a couple of my builds. I found with the vicious grip tape, it's better than that 34 grit. 34 grit, it's like, it's good, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but that vicious stuff, it's next level. You don't even have to put heel straps on. If you tighten up the foot strap tight enough, you're really locked in. It holds you in really well. So I think I'll be pairing these with the vicious grip tape as the only option moving forward. Just because I've learned my lesson using other stuff, right? So yeah, that's a cool little product that'll be as a standard feature for all the completes coming out of the workshop from now on. To complement this deck, we have a new ESC enclosure design and layout. All the carbon fibre and metal components are in the process of being CNC'd and laser cut this week, and that'll be released in the next week or the week after. Although I can show off the midsections and just how narrow they are, right? So they're nice and narrow, really good quality, high finish on this one, because this one's special, because this one's going to go on the Warren. And one thing you'll pick up on, how good are the DV6 Pros, right? 180 motor amps. As long as the supply is available, this is the only option, right? So yeah, so that's a pretty cool piece of kit, and it comes with the on-off button as well. I will have a backup loop key installed just in case, because my faith in on-off buttons is a little bit sketchy, but we'll see how we go. So if you take a look, that profile, it's as slim as you can possibly get it. So these ESC enclosures are going to be really low profile, really slim, and hopefully you'll like the design that comes out. So they're specifically made for the DV6. However, I do have alternate components that will enable folks that want to use a Storm Core or the orange one, Unity, to support those as well, right? So that's another cool product that's going to be released. So that'll be paired with the board, and it'll be a standard product. So I have a whole bunch of these coming out, being machined for completes, right? So for me, 2023 is about standardization, using the same components over and over again to get high quality, good finish, and consistency across all builds moving forward. Right, so ESC, riser pad, deck, we've got the enclosures coming in, which are pretty cool. Something else. Right, so what's going to power the system, right? So a lot of my prior builds have used the radium motor mounts, and I will radium motors, and I will continue to use a variant of the radium motors. And I say variant because I was allowed to have, I guess, my way to a certain degree in terms of design and aesthetics on how the radium motors look. And I have in my hands a batch of special edition black label, black cable radium motors. But what makes these radium motors really special, they're 173 kVs. The 205s are great. They have heaps of top end torque. On the low end, if you're running 90 motor amps, they're perfectly fine. They can do hill climbs up them to 95 or 100. Although for heavier riders, I did find that they do tend to be a bit soft, the 205 kV, and that's why I'm switching to the 175 just for more gearing option availability for those 100 kilo plus riders. I'm 75 kilos, right? So for me, 6355 motors will pull me up a steep hill with these, right? So I need to be wary that not everyone is 75 kilos. So that's why going with the 173 kV. But what makes these motors radium motors special. Not only do they have a black cable, but check this out. This looks cool, right? You're going to see this in a second. You're going to be like, wow. Right, look at that. Oh, that is sexy. So these are ZFG branded radium motors. Huge shout out to the team at Radium. I mean, that is awesome. That's all laser etched on there. I'm blown away. I can't believe the quality of these bad boys. So these are standard, right? Standardization, like I said, I want consistency in all the parts I use that go into these builds. So yeah, I'm batched up with these 173 kV special edition motors. I'll take some glamour shots, money shots of these bad boys, but yeah, I'm super stoked, and I can't say enough kind words to the team at Radium for supporting me, answering my silly questions, and continuous back and forth emails and whatever else. So thank you, team. Thank you, everybody. And also big thanks to the team at MakerX as well. So with these motors, paired with this ESC controller, it's I think it will be a deadly combo moving forward. So really unlocking the full capability of the motor, and there's removing the bottleneck of 100 or 120 motor amps. I know there is a sticker on the DV6 that says 100 amps, although you can go a little bit higher in some instances. Just be wary of that. Do test, but yeah, having that Pro version at 180 just means that you can just go up way above that 100 mark and not have any overcurrent faults happen. So yeah, so cool. We've motors, boom, 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 boom. Got to put that on top, nice and neat. Right, the other thing I want to talk about is options when parting up these builds. You know, 12S6P in a pallet case, it's pretty much standard, right? But there are other avenues that we can take, and if you look at my early videos, I did test a solution, and actually if you go to the ZFG website, you'll see that there's a prototype of a open LiPo battery enclosure where I was testing 2 LiPo batteries strapped in like an RC car with a balancer in the middle. That's been on my site since day one. And also one of the first videos, YouTube videos I released, was about me talking about creating a wiring loom to enable a regular charger that is used across a regular battery balance BMS unit that is used across electric skateboards to function with LiPos through the development of a wiring loom. So you can check that video out, put a link to it there. So I've taken that one step further and been testing that quite a fair bit, and I've come up with this really cool solution. And I think the reason why I think this is cool is because a lot of the folks that have been looking to get into electric skateboards and buying one want to do tinkering themselves, but don't necessarily have the tools to spot weld the battery together. This will give specific individuals the option to go out and procure their own battery system and use this balance to remove the need to have to continually take out a LiPo from your enclosure and charge it up with one of these guys, right? So what this solution enables is folks to have fixed LiPos in their electric skateboard and use just your regular 50.4 volt charger, as opposed to having to remove them and have to deal with the learning curve of using one of these guys. Now, there's a lot of folks out there, like myself. I come from an RC car racing background, so using one of these, it's second nature. But a lot of folks tend to get frightened off, right? So just really looking at a solution and a product that can be deployed as an option when getting a complete. The other value that this style charging system would have is that if you go to the Hobby King website, you can pick up a 12S6P 20 mAh battery for I think $350, and you need 2 of those. So you look at the cost of procuring those 2 packs, which will give you 5 kilometre less range in a 12S6P build versus the cost of a 12S6P build. It's about half the price, right? Even less. You know, 12S6P, you're looking at $1,600 easy to have that spot welded and built for you. So that's a really good solution. The other value add is that the total cost of ownership is significantly lower because you're paying less, but also from a longevity perspective, you know, 2-3 years time, when it comes time to replace that battery, it's significantly cheaper. You can, if one fails, you take that one, plug in your new one, and you're ready to go again. You don't have to keep re-engaging with the battery builder. Not that we mind, but it can be a lengthy and time-consuming process. The other challenge is I am finding that there are failure rates on those 12S6P packs, and they're failure rates not because of a build or a BMS perspective, it's actually from a cell perspective. I'm going to have a follow-up video that's going to go through the analysis of a return pack that I've had just recently in my workshop. So one of these has come back, and there was a dead P group on there. That P group that was split out, and I individually charged all the cells. What I found was one of these cells was significantly hotter than the other ones. So once they all charged back up to 4.2 volts, I ran an IR test, an internal resistance test, and these 5 cells returned the range of 33 to 36. This guy right here had an internal resistance of 68, and that was tested 3 times. So after 7 months of use, this cell has failed, causing the entire P group to run lower, therefore rendering the entire battery useless. So that's got to come back for repair, testing, and shipped back out. So that's pretty annoying, right? You don't have that kind of an issue. Well, you may, but it's less of an occurrence, because think about it, from a statistics perspective, you've got 72 individual cells that need to be working in unison, as opposed to only 12 LiPo packs. So statistically speaking, your chances of failures are reduced greatly. So yeah, just a point there that this product will be available as an option. I'll take some photos of what that looks like once it's fairly cased up, because it's easy for me to shrink wrap this all, bundle it in a package, and drop it in as well. So it's a really cool product, really cool solution. And what it means is that the total cost of the board, because the LiPos are significantly cheaper, the total price comes down by $500–600. It allows me to really be competitive using a complete with high-end components by using this solution as well. Also, you're backed by manufacturer warranty. 12 months on everything, as you are anyway, although it's straight up replace from Hobby King, and they're a really good store. There's affiliate links on my website too, so if you want to take a look for yourself, do so, check them out. So yeah, so that's a cool little bit of kit and a cool bit of product as well. Cool, right, so that's that. There'll be a follow-up video of a dissection of why that battery failed coming up, so stay tuned. Other projects, other cool things that are happening. It's nearly here. We're just in the final stages of completing the coats in clear, but stay tuned for this awesome bit of kit between me and the boys from Flow State developing that. The other key component of that is I'm doing my own graphics design. So I'll take a zoom in of what this looks like. You can see there, so this is a screen. This is the imagery that's going to be screen printed on the back of my boards. What I like about using this technology, really old school screen printing technology, is that I've got control over my images, my logos, and what I can design, and the quality of the product that I output. So I'm pretty excited to be able to do all these cool stuff that's going to be released soon. So, right, there you go. Bit of an unveiling there for you all. Right, it's not going to fall. Good. All right. that's it. One shot, one take. It's all been done. Thank you for listening. Watch out for these standard products on my site. Hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the motors. I'm super excited about those motors. I can't stop talking about them. They look absolutely awesome. I'll do some photos of them. Apart from that, stay safe. Hopefully the Melbourne weather gets better, even though it's summer and I've got the heater on, but oh well. Yeah, adios, take care, thanks for watching.